The movie opens with Sarah and John, a married couple decorating a nursery. While Sarah enjoys the surprise of the baby's gender, John struggles with his curiosity. The next day, Sarah works as a math lecturer, while John, an architect, declines an offer from his ex-girlfriend, Alyssa, to accompany him to a showing. Later, Sarah suffers immense abdominal pain and calls John, but he is busy with customers. He eventually rushes to the hospital to learn Sarah has suffered a miscarriage. Distraught, Sarah decides they can no longer live in that house. The couple goes house hunting but finds most properties unsuitable. Their realtor suggests meeting Emmett Claymore, who offers them a beautiful mansion in the woods for free, provided they never open the cellar door. If they break this rule, the house reverts to him. Despite John's skepticism, Sarah insists they move in to heal and save for future IVF. They briefly find happiness, but the peace is shattered when Alyssa appears at their homewarming party and unsuccessfully tries to seduce John. Suddenly, John's boss arrives and summons him. Outside, the crowd stares at a deranged man carrying a gasoline can. The man creepily advises John to burn the place down before it destroys them, then leaves. The next morning, John learns Alyssa filed harassment charges against him. He is suspended, though his boss considers it temporary. Back home, Sarah decides to return to work. John lies about his day and later finds himself drawn to the forbidden cellar door. His boss urges him to tell Sarah the truth, but John refuses, wanting to protect her happiness. He believes he can convince Alyssa to recant, despite warnings from his boss. John becomes determined to see inside the cellar door. He fails to force it open, and when he suggests checking it to Sarah, she refuses, unwilling to risk their home. John visits the city planning office and obtains blueprints. He discovers the previous owner was Paul McManus, while Emmett Claymore lived there 25 years ago until his family mysteriously vanished. John finds a crawlspace leading to a barred cellar door and drills a hole to see inside, but stops when Sarah arrives. Later, John meets Alyssa in a parking lot. It is revealed they had an affair. John threatens her when she vows to tell Sarah the truth. Sarah soon discovers she is pregnant again, but finds John's blueprints. Later, John sees Alyssa's car driving away from their home and chases it but loses the vehicle. He returns home to find Sarah angry about his cellar obsession. The next morning, John learns the harassment charges were dropped. Soon, John is cleared of all allegations and returns to work. His boss notes that Alyssa has gone missing. That night, John finds a bullet in the nursery wall that matches Emmett's ammunition. He speculates Emmett murdered his family, but Sarah begs him to drop it to protect their perfect life. A few days later, police investigate Alyssa's disappearance after finding her abandoned car. At a bar, a neighbor tells Sarah that previous families all left the mansion without explanation. Sarah is surprised to hear John was seen running in the afternoons when he was supposed to be at work. She expresses happiness to have them as neighbors, especially meeting John during his afternoon runs. This surprises Sarah, as her husband is supposed to be working then. Her attention is drawn to the television, where she sees news about Alyssa's disappearance. Later, while John showers, Sarah checks his email and is shocked to learn about Alyssa's sexual harassment complaint. She then checks his phone and discovers their call history. Meanwhile, John continues to inspect the bullet. Comparing it to Emmett's ammunition collection, he finds they match. The next morning, he suggests going to the cellar again, but Sarah refuses as they'll lose the house. This leads to an argument, abruptly cut short when two detectives arrive investigating Alyssa's disappearance. They speak with John, who honestly describes the allegations and their meeting in the parking lot. He omits the affair, but admits they were together before he met Sarah. The detectives reveal Alyssa's phone pinged near their home the day she vanished. John denies knowledge of this, making him nervous, until Sarah appears. She claims her husband was with her the whole time, providing an alibi. The cops are convinced and leave. Afterward, Sarah confronts John, revealing she knows about his affair. She feels betrayed but says she covered for him so their baby wouldn't grow up with a father in prison. John tries to convince her he didn't kill Alyssa, but Sarah isn't sure she can trust him. That night, John can't sleep, believing the root of his problems lies in the cellar. The next day, he tracks down the previous owner, Paul McManus. Surprisingly, Paul is the deranged man from the housewarming party. Now an alcoholic, Paul admits that while life initially seemed perfect in the house, it soon fell apart. John questions Paul about the cellar, and the latter cryptically explains it brings out the worst in people. Paul reveals that not opening the cellar is his biggest regret and advises John his only option is to break the contract and look inside. Returning home, John tells Sarah he can't contain himself and insists they open the door and leave. She refuses, unwilling to risk her happiness. John grabs a crowbar and proceeds anyway. Sarah desperately tries to stop him, but he ignores her. When John wakes up inside later, Sarah apologizes, saying she couldn't let him open the door. Suddenly, she shows him Alyssa's cell phone, leaving him in shock. A flashback reveals that when Alyssa came over, Sarah heard a noise and assumed there was an intruder. She went upstairs with a gun and warned Alyssa to leave, but Alyssa began blabbering about how Sarah didn't deserve this life. This pushed Sarah off the edge. Although Alyssa was initially alive, Sarah decided not to risk her perfect life and strangled her. She wrapped the body in sheets and dragged it into the crawl space leading to the cellar. We learn the person John chased in the car was actually Sarah. After abandoning the car, Sarah uploaded pictures from Alyssa's phone and sent an email to her work. John is shocked and offers to find a lawyer, but Sarah points a gun at him. She notes that if he tells the truth, he will go to jail because all evidence points to him. He even nailed shut the crawl space where Alyssa is buried. Sarah explains she will testify that John lured Alyssa there and murdered her, claiming she only found out when police arrived. She claims she shot him in self-defense after he attacked her for confronting him. Sarah gives John a second option: remain silent and live a perfect life with their baby. She says Alyssa will be forgotten as a tragic disappearance. When asked for his decision, John stays silent. Months later, at a baby shower, John is present, having accepted his fate with his murderous wife. During the ceremony, they receive a gift from Emmett, congratulating them on their new chapter. Along with the letter, he provides the key to the cellar door. Emmett says it's up to them to use it, but he believes they already know what is inside.